So welcome back to what is, I literally have lost track of what episode this is, but I think it's probably 9. And today we are going to talk about virtual races. And also I'm starving, so I'm just gonna eat some ice cream while we talk. At this point, thanks to the pandemic, every single race that was scheduled since April until who knows when has been canceled or postponed, or something has gone on with it. And what most race directors are deciding to do is to just go virtual. So you basically have a set amount of time to run the distance that you signed up for, and then once you do, you upload it. And some races are giving swag and t-shirts and medals, and some races are just like, congratulations. So what do we think about virtual races? I think that they are shit. So I'm quiet and I don't really talk to anybody when I go to races, unless like specifically I am with like someone that I went to the race to. But in general, I just show up, I register, I run my race, I eat a banana after the run, and then I go the hell home. But I love seeing everybody out together running. I love seeing my ridiculous, horrible finish photos that have been snapped. And trust me, I have had some absolutely awful finish photos. I feel like in a virtual race, I'm definitely not gonna get a hideous finish photo unless I specifically make my finish line my driveway and ask my boyfriend to snap one for me as I'm coming up it. And I feel like overall you just really lose that camaraderie of, and listen, I get it. I get that it's a pandemic. I get that it's a virtual race or nothing, and that people just, or race directors didn't just decide to go virtual to eliminate the race atmosphere. This is more about me complaining about the pandemic than anything else. Not a chance, buddy. So that is where I am at with virtual races. I think that they're shit. So I do think there are some really fun, super cool concepts for virtual races out there. As a matter of fact, I actually am going to sign up for one later today that's like a virtual 5K, run with your dog, which is just kind of like a fun idea because I obviously run with my dog, so why not? And all of your money, or like probably, hopefully at least some of it, goes to a shelter that they've chosen to support, which I think is super cool, because I love feeling like I'm supporting something, while also just getting my run in. So yeah, this video is going literally nowhere. I think I'm gonna just delete it and start fresh. All of it. But the ice cream is really good. And like super good. That's a good pen. Also, if you're lactose intolerant, Nutrell is the actual best thing ever. It's lactose free and it tastes literally just like normal ice cream, except then you don't get milk sick. So shout out to Nutrell. So I ran out of ice cream, and when I ran out of ice cream, my dogs abandoned me for the regular slots on the couch. So there's definitely pros and cons to running a virtual race. Some of the pros are that probably the biggest one is that you usually have a span of days that you can complete your predetermined distance in. So it's usually a month. You have anywhere from the start of the month to the end of the month to complete your run and submit your time. A lot of people like that, especially because if you work a non-traditional schedule, Races are usually on the weekend, and if you work a lot of weekends or if you work back shifts, then you probably can't make race day as easily as people who work regular Monday to Friday 9 to 5s. If you are a fair weather runner and race day comes and it's raining or snowing or the wind is crazy or it's freezing cold or it's 37 degrees Celsius, then you can simply just wait for that weather to change and go out like in the next day or the next day or the next day. If you wake up on what you had decided was going to be your race day and you have a wonky stomach or you feel like crap or you didn't get a good night's sleep, then you don't even have to not have today be your race day. Today can just simply be, today can still be a race day, and you're just gonna run it later. Instead of a first thing in the morning run, you're gonna run your run at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. after you eat supper and see if you feel better. So it's definitely way more convenient as far as that goes. It definitely gives you a lot more leeway to pick when you wanna race. Another thing that people often say for virtual races is that they're significantly cheaper than traditional races. You don't have to travel, you don't have to pay anywhere to stay, you don't have as high of a race fee because there's almost no overhead. And while I think that might be true for some virtual races, the one that I just looked at running is like $25 US. And also on top of that $25 fee, there's a $3 fee for like an online application fee. Hello, baby. And then for them to actually ship your medal is another $10. So altogether it's $37 US, which is kind of spendy. But I can see how it's significantly cheaper than, say, when my friends and I went to Walt Disney World to run their marathon or their half marathon. So I think the cost actually is pretty negotiable. It depends on what kind of runs you're running. I can see how a virtual run's definitely cheaper than like a Walt Disney World run or like the Boston Marathon or runs that you're traveling to or are bigger. But compared to like our little local 5 and 10Ks that we have around here where there's no travel, you're still getting the race atmosphere, you're still getting like all of those good things. And they cost like $10 to $20 to sign up for. So I think cost is pretty negotiable. Some people feel much more comfortable if they're trying a new distance for the first time and it's virtual. I guess it's like a mental thing, like mentally if you've never run 42.2 kilometers before, which just I can't imagine doing a virtual marathon, so shout out to everybody who's done that or more. Then realistically you can like go out and run it, and if you feel like after you've got one under your belt you want to run it again, you can go rerun that, because you can run the virtual distance as many times as you want in that time frame, and you only have to submit the one that you're the happiest with, which a lot of people like that. To me, it's kind of just like, I could just go out and run a 5K right now, or a 10K, or a half, or a full, I guess, really. But I just love having that race atmosphere so much more. I love that you actually can't prepare for everything on race day. You know, there's like a certain fun factor to telling people that you ran the Cabot Trail Relay at 12 a.m. in the morning while it was snowing and there were bears on the trail. That is so fun. I really enjoy that aspect of it. I love the parts of the race that we can't control, because races just happen on this day, whether or not we're prepared for it, whether or not Mother Nature is agreeing with it, whether or not we've stuck to our training plan. It's race day and we have to set our alarms and go. I love after the race, you know, when you're congratulating people on how well of a run they had, or you're commiserating with someone over how poorly runs went. I know that a lot of people will be sticking with virtual races when we are able to go back to like real racing. not that virtual racing isn't real, I guess, but like gatherings for racing, like, I don't know, the opposite of virtual racing, whatever non-offensive word that is, because they've said as much, like, I just enjoy virtual races so much more, which I personally can't understand whatsoever. For me, everything that happens in an actual race, when you're there with all of the other racers, and you know, there's someone that you haven't seen for a while, or you only see them at runs, or someone who has been faster than you for a long time, and you want to see if today's the day that you can finally beat them, or if you would rather do anything other than get up and run, but you're gonna do it anyways because today's the day of the race, and if you don't go today, then you're just shit out of luck, man. You can't go tomorrow because there'll be no one there to do the race with you. And during a pandemic, if that's what a race director decides to do, is put the race online. Like I said, I get it. You've got swag, you've got medals. A lot of that stuff is like, got the year on it, so 2020. You can't just reuse it next year. And you're basically just rounding in t-shirts and medals. So I hope that people still want to run in-person races, because I literally have no use for virtual races. I think they are just stupid. Again, I don't even get the cost benefit because, like, as far as I can tell, there's very little cost benefit unless every single run you run or like race that you run is you traveling somewhere or entering big races, which I don't think is most people. I think lots of people enter little local races, and I hope that the ability to run virtually doesn't start to take away from the local races that people have in their communities. So I'm clearly team not virtual races. Again, like I said, I understand in this pandemic, and that's why I am going to run one. Or I understand if there was like a virtual race that you really wanted to support because you were super behind the cause. But in general, I would never pick a virtual race over an in-person race given the option. And I'm super curious how everybody else feels about that. Because it ain't my jam, friend. Not at all. So that's it, I think, for today. I think I've rambled enough. But yeah, let me know if you are yes or no to virtual races. I'm super interested in finding out. Leave a message below or do whatever. I don't really care. That's it. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.